In this video, we are going to explore the different types of CSS selectors and learn how to use them to create powerful and efficient styles for your web pages. So let's dive in and discover the magic of CSS selectors. Number 1, universal selector. I have all this markup ready. Now let's see how the universal selector works. So let's go to the CSS and style it using the universal selector. So to use the universal selector, you are going to press asterisk, which stands for universal selector. Then you open curly braces. The universal selector will help to style all the elements on the page in the same way. Currently, the font family is a serif font, so I want to change it to sans serif. So I will say font family. As you can see, the font family has changed. Also, I'm going to apply color to everything, and the same color is going to be applied. As you can see, so that is how the universal selector works. So any styling you apply using the universal selector will affect all the elements on the page. Number 2, grouping selector. As you can see, I have the H1 tag, I have the paragraph tag, I have H4 tag, as well as I have all these list tags. Let's say for instance, if I want to style the paragraph tag, the H4 and the LI in the same way without styling the heading 1. So I can use the grouping selector, which is denoted by comma. Now let's see how it works. So I'm going to select my paragraph, comma. I'm going to select the H4 tag as well without any space. Then I'm going to select the LI tag as well. Then I'm going to put everything. I'm going to open curly braces. Then in this tag, I'm going to apply any styling that I wanted to give to it. Take for instance, if I want to add background, I can call it green. As you can see, the styling has been applied to all these elements that I've styled without affecting the H1 at the top here. Also, if I want to include H1, I can do that as well. So I'm going to write H1 and add comma. So the H1 is going to be included. And let's say for instance, if I don't want to include this LI element, I can remove it as well. As you can see, it has been removed. So that is how the grouping selector works in CSS. Number 3, class and ID. I'm going to be using this markup for the sake of this video. So as you can see here, I have the parent which has a class of card container. In the parent, I also have a div class of card with an ID of card1. Then I have another card at the bottom here. This one is only having a class without an ID. Let's style it using the class and the ID. Let's go to our CSS. To style the class, you are going to press period on your keyboard, which is otherwise known as dots. Then you are going to write the class name. We have a class of card as well as class of card here because we have 2 cards. So let's go back. So take for instance, if I want to give it a background, I can give it a background color of blue. As you can see, the 2 cards are styling the same way because they both contain a class of card. I'm going to give it a color of white so that all the child in the parent container will have white color. As you can see here, I'm going to give it a padding of 20 pixels all around, both top and bottom, left and right. As you can see, everything has been combined. So I'm going to separate it by giving it a margin bottom of 20 pixels. Let's talk about an ID. Let's go back to our HTML. If you can see here, I gave this particular card, the one at the top, that is this one, I gave it an ID of card1. So let's style it using an ID. To style it using an ID, I'm going to use the hashtag. I'm going to type the name of the ID, so which is known as card1. I'm going to apply width to it, 300 pixels, as you can see. So I may deem it fit to change the background color as well. So I can give it any background color instead of this blue. So I can give it orange. as you can see. So that is how you can use an ID and class to style an element in HTML and CSS. If you are enjoying this video, please support my channel by subscribing to my channel. Also, share this video with your loved ones so that many people can see this video. Also, if you have any video requests related to HTML, CSS, JavaScript or Figma, let me know in the comment section below and I'll be ready to create it for you. Let's continue. So I have this markup ready that I wanted to use for this example. So as you can see, I have the parents, which is the UL, and I have the children, which are list 1, list 2 up to list 4. So now, let's say for instance, if I want to style the list 2 alone without affecting all other children like list 1, list 3 and list 4. So I can use the child pseudo class. So to use it, I'm going to select the li. So I'm going to write colon child. Then the child I'm going to select is going to be child 2. So now I want to style it. So I'm going to give it a font weight of bold. I'm going to give it a color of orange red. Now, as you can see, it is being applied. So if I give it a font size of 30 pixels, you are going to see what will happen. As you can see. So this is how you can use the end child. To practice the over pseudo class, we are going to use this button as an example. So let's go back to our CSS. I have this button structured and everything is intact, but I want to give it an over effect. So I want to use the over pseudo class to make sure that when I hover the button transitions smoothly and the font size becomes smaller a bit. I'm going to select the button element, then I'm going to type colon over, as you can see. So that's the over pseudo class. Now let's try to see what happens next. You can see when I hover on it, it transitions smoothly and the font size becomes smaller, and it works based on the style that has been applied to it. Number 5, pseudo elements. We are going to use this button element for this example. So now let's go to the CSS. We are going to be using the before and the after pseudo elements. So the before pseudo elements allow us to place something before an element, while the after pseudo elements allow us to place something after an element. It can be anything like text, icon, picture, and so on and so forth. So now let's first start with this before. So inside this section where I have content, so I'm going to be using an icon. So to get this icon, I'm going to be using the icon that comes pre-installed with the Windows PC. To get access to it, you can only press the Windows key and the dot on your keyboard. I'll make sure my cursor is inside this quotation mark. So I'll click on the first icon that I wanted to use. So I'll click on this one, and you're going to see what happens next. You can see that it has been applied here. So likewise, I'll come to this section, I'll press the Windows key and the period, also known as dot, on the keyboard. Then I'll click on this one again, as you can see. So this is how you can use the before and the after to insert an element to your design. The before pseudo element has helped us to apply this icon, while the after pseudo element has helped us to apply this icon. If this video has been really helpful to you, please support my channel by subscribing to this YouTube channel for more HTML, CSS and JavaScript tutorial, as well as Figma tutorial. Don't forget to share this video with your loved ones. Turn on the post notification bell so that each time I upload a new video, you'll be the first person to be updated. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video.